According to the extraterrestrials. Chapter 4. Noah's Ark. Many people on Earth have read and heard about many biblical stories. One of these stories is that of Noah's Ark, and another about the 7 plagues of Egypt. Did these events really take place? Did they really happen? What do the extraterrestrials tell us about them? In this chapter, we will explore the story of Noah's Ark.
According to the Judeo-Christian Bible, Noah was warned by God of a great flood that he was going to cause. That was meant to wipe out all of mankind, except for Noah and his family. In this story, God gives Noah the opportunity to save himself and his family by following his very specific instructions to build an ark or large boat. In the story, Noah does as he's told by God. And once completed, into the ark Noah brought a male and a female of every animal species of the earth. As the story goes, the rains came and with them a great flood that lasted 40 days and 40 nights. The ark with all of Earth's animals, Noah, his wife, his 3 sons and their wives floated for several days until the waters subsided. And the ark came to rest on Mount Ararat. The Bible tells us that from Noah's descendants grew the mankind we know today, and from the animals on the ark multiplied all the animals of the earth. Or so the story goes.
This colorful story raises many questions. For example, how could so many animals fit on a wooden ark? How did they all manage to stay calm inside that boat? These simple questions, and many others, make some people doubt that it really happened as it was told. Perhaps a different story happened if we listen to what the extraterrestrials, who have been contacting Billy Meier for several decades, tell us about this. The origin of this major earthly event that caused the Great Flood begins with the presence of a large comet, which at that time was orbiting through our solar system for thousands of years. This comet was named the Destroyer because of its size and caused many disasters in our solar system and on our planet. This Destroyer comet was very large, a little bigger than the Earth. The Destroyer comet was so powerful that it swept Mars and Malone orbits. The red planet was located where the asteroid belt is today, and it was pushed closer to the Sun, to its present orbit. Malona was moved out to the original Mars location where we find the asteroid belt today. As we presented in a previous chapter, Malona planet was later destroyed by its own inhabitants due to wars, breaking it into millions of pieces. The destroyer also managed to detach a large moon from Uranus, which we now know as Venus. Venus was wandering in the solar system until it reached its current orbit. Fortunately, the Pleiadians asked and received permission to move the destroyer comet to a more distant orbit. But we are told it will return again in the year 3161. So we have some time before we have to face it again. You can find details about the Destroyer comet in another video on our channel. We are told by the extraterrestrials that this comet got closer to Earth 100,000 years ago. And it was this celestial event that caused the Great Flood from the story of Noah and his ark, not so much an angry God. So, was the story of the ark true? It helps to understand how many myths and legends are often based on true events that have occurred. But over the years, many details of what really happened are altered, and sometimes falsified. The myth of the Great Flood that the Judeo-Christian Bible talks about happened long ago, and is also found in even older myths from Mesopotamia and Babylon. Who was Noah according to the extraterrestrials? He was actually someone called Noachad-Nasser, or Noan-Dakan, meaning man of peace, today known as Noah. We are told he lived in the Middle East, on a farm and with his family. He had a very cool friend, an extraterrestrial, named Zebalin, who knew about the destroyer comet and how it was going to come dangerously close to Earth. Zebalin warned Noah that the comet would cause very powerful tidal waves, earthquakes, and volcano eruptions. Zebalin was aware that the level of the Black Sea was going to rise very high, and it would flood the region of the planet where Noah and his family lived, threatening them and all the people in that area. So, Zebalin recommended Noah to build an ark to avoid drowning. Noah trusted him and built it, following the instructions given to him by his alien friend. The extraterrestrials tell us the ark was actually round, not rectangular as described in the Bible. It was 68 meters high and had a central construction. Into the ark went 140 people, including Noah's family and friends from neighboring farms. They brought their domestic animals with them. So, when the destroyer comet came close to Earth and caused many tsunamis, Noah and all that were with him were able to survive. We are told it was not that it rained continuously until the waters flooded everything. Instead, we understand the flooding happened as a result of the rising of the sea levels. At that time on Earth there were only 870,000 human beings, of which about 270,000 were able to survive the catastrophe. Those who lived in elevated areas survived, and so too did the 140 occupants of the ark Noah built. Many animals in high mountains also survived. The ark did reach Mount Ararat, as this legend tells, and it still remains there to this day, buried under the ice. The biblical story of Noah teaches us how important events that have happened on earth are often changed and adapted. Many stories from our past have already been forgotten, and those that we remember are transformed into fantastic and implausible stories with the passage of time. In the next chapter, we will explore how the destroyer comet caused other disasters, especially related to the 7 plagues of Egypt.